College dorms. There are so many different common perceptions of dorms. Like some people, they can't wait to live in a dorm, and once they get there, they absolutely love it. They decorate it, they make it look nice. They're really happy to be in such a tighter space away from home. And then there's other people who just are not looking forward to living in a dorm. They just think it's too small, they just think it won't be nice, they think it'll be too old. And once they actually get there, they just despise it. They just despise being in their dorm. They just never want to be there. All they want to do there is sleep. Otherwise, they just want to be out somewhere else, not in the dorm. So I'm here to answer the grand question is it actually nice to live in a dorm? In order for you guys to know what I'm going off of, what better way to start the video off than with an overly sophisticated tour of my dorm room that might as well be on HGTV.
As we walk into our dorm, directly on our left we have a nice little mudroom area. As we continue walking forward, to our left we have a mirror, sink, and some storage underneath the sink. And then as we continue moving forward again, on our left we have some storage above our closets, and then the closets themselves. And then towards the back of the room we have a couch facing our TV. And then if we turn back around and move forward and then left, we have our microwave and fridge. Right next to it, we have a desk and monitor. And then back towards the door, we have a ladder with some nice cushions that lead up to a bed. And then in the corner of the room is my roommate's stuff.
Alright, I hope you all enjoyed that tour. I worked really hard on it, as you could tell. Now, before we get into the specifics of what it's like to live in a college dorm, I want to address the common quote and perception that your dorm is just a place to sleep. Now, people say that because you're at college, you're here to learn, you're here to socialize, you're here to make friends, you're here to do a bunch of stuff that doesn't require a college dorm room, or for better words, it doesn't require a nice place to live. Now, I agree with that, but not entirely. I still think there's a lot of value in knowing what it's like to live in a college dorm. I think that you'll find yourself being here more than that quote deems it to be. So don't listen to that quote literally. This video is still valuable. With that being said, let's get into what it's been like for me to live in this small room at college. Starting with number one, hominess. Now, it doesn't matter if you're in a really disgusting room or if you're in a really high-end room. Either way, you're gonna feel homey in your room. Whether you like it or not, this is your home away from home. And, eventually you're just going to realize that this is your only, maybe not only, but it's gonna be your main safe spot away from all the noise. And naturally, your body needs that. So you're going to find this room homey. Number two is compactness, or the size of the room. Now, a lot of people look at the size of the room as being a con instead of a pro, but I actually think it is a pro. And the reason why is back at your house, you kind of need those extra functions of a house. Like, for example, you need a kitchen, right? You're not going to always be going out to eat. You're gonna need to cook your own food. And if you're cooking your own food, you're gonna need a dining room. And so you need all these extra functions of a house. But here at college, or more specifically in a college dorm room, you don't need those extra functions of the house. Yo, I'm going to the grocery store. Is there anything that we both need specifically? Yeah, I'm feeling some sort of like chicken dish for dinner tonight. We don't have a kitchen or a dining room. Oh, yeah. Moving on to number three, that is storage in the dorm room. Now, I think a common misconception is that there's not enough storage space in the dorm room. Now, there's actually plenty of storage, at least in my dorm room, but I'm pretty sure it's the same for a lot of other dorm rooms out there. You'll be surprised, okay? Especially if you get to come home for breaks like fall break, winter break, and spring break, and you get to replace your clothes for changes of the season. You're gonna be fine. It's nothing to worry about. But that's also coming from a guy's perspective. Now, if you're a girl watching this video, maybe take my thoughts on the storage with a grain of salt, but I'm pretty sure it'll be okay for you girls too. I know plenty of girls here that have never complained about the storage in their dorm room, so I wouldn't worry about it either. Now, fridge space. Fridge space it doesn't really matter how big of a fridge you have, because it's not like you're going to be cooking in your dorm room. It's not like you're going to be getting out the pan and getting out the eggs and getting out all these ingredients to make yourself like a cake or something, because that's not going to be happening in your dorm room. You have the dining halls to do that for you. So you really just need a fridge that's big enough to hold your leftovers and maybe some frozen food for, when you're too lazy to go out to the dining halls. So I wouldn't worry about fridge space. And a lot of colleges out there provide fridges, and they don't allow you to bring your own fridges. So that's why I'm addressing this, because I know a lot of people out there are kind of worried about not bringing their own fridge, but it really is nothing to worry about. Number 4 are the beds, or in my case, lofted beds. Now, they get the job done. There's really nothing else to say about it other than that. As long as you have nice sheets and maybe even a comforter, they're pretty comfortable. Sometimes I think they're more comfortable than my own bed back at home. Maybe that's just because of the lack of sleep that I'm getting, which I need to fix. But yeah, that's pretty much it for that. Number 5, well, not really a number 5, because I don't think it's worthy enough to be its own number. It's kind of like an honorable mention. Yeah, we'll call it an honorable mention. And that is the sink in my room, or the sink in maybe your future room. I think it is really nice to have a sink in your room. Maybe the aesthetic of it isn't nice, but the utility of it is really nice, because you don't have to go out of your room to get water. You don't have to go out of your room to wash your hands. You don't need to go out of your room to brush your teeth. Yeah, apparently it's more of like an old-fashioned thing. I mean, I searched it up on Google, why dorms are getting rid of sinks these days. I think it's a financial thing, but it's nice to have a sink in your room if you do end up having one. Now, I've been mentioning almost all, if not all, pros. It's time to get into some of the cons about living in a college dorm. The first con is you can get tired of it. Some people do get tired of living in a dorm. They look forward to moving out. They look forward to not having to deal with their roommate anymore, which I'll be getting into roommates later. That is an interesting one. But yeah, it can get tiring. Alright, the second negative about living in a college dorm is kind of dependent on the college you're going to or the college you're at. Here at Virginia Tech, a majority of the college dorms have no AC, and that can be really bad in the hot times during the school year. Like at the beginning of the school year in the fall, for about 2 weeks, it was really hard to go to bed because of how hot it was in the room. Now, a lot of colleges out there don't have that room design anymore. Even some dorms here don't have that design anymore. But if you do so happen to be in a dorm room that has no AC, just know that it might be hard for a little while, but I'm sure where you're at, it'll get cooler soon, and you'll survive, and it will not ruin that much. So it's a con, but you'll get through it. It'll be okay. Yeah. The third con about living in a dorm room is the public dorm hall restrooms. There have been some pretty disgusting things that I've seen or witnessed in that bathroom. It's just not a pleasant place to be. And I know bathrooms aren't supposed to be a pleasant place to be, but this goes another level, like above that. So I'm sorry that you'll have to deal with that, unless you're one of those fancy college dorm people who have a private bathroom connected to their dorm room. If you're one of those people, then I'm jealous. That's it for the negatives of living in a dorm room. But now I'm going to mention some other important things that you definitely need to note. Roommates is a very big factor in how you enjoy being in a dorm. You can either have a roommate that is chill, respectful, nice, or you can have a roommate that you just end up not liking, even if they were your best friend before college. it's really hard to say how often you encounter those types of roommates versus how often you get a good roommate. Sometimes you're in between two. But if you have a great roommate, it'll make your dorm life that much better. If you have a bad roommate, it'll make your dorm life, it won't make it better. Hopefully it won't make it worse, but it definitely won't make it better than it can be. Kind of hard to describe, but I think it's kind of intuitive. So I'll move on to the next note. Now I'm going to get into the more personal, fun things that I've added to my room that has made it easier and more fun to live here. And maybe that'll help you. So to start out with, we got a carpet, we have a lamp, we have a couch, and we have a TV. Now all four of those things are really nice to have in your room. It makes it more homey. It brings more warm lighting into the room. And especially those last two things, couch and TV, that makes it a lot nicer to relax in your room. Now if you don't have those things, you know, like a lot of people don't have those things, then don't worry. As long as you got a bigger screen than your phone to watch stuff on, like your laptop, which you'll probably have, and something other than the default chair that the college gives you, then that is enough for a quote-unquote couch and a TV. But I would recommend warm lighting in your room, because those white LEDs that come installed in your room can get really annoying on the eyes. Now, we even utilize the extra space on our walls to make our room more interesting. We put posters, banners, decorations, and a whiteboard. Now, those things are probably less important than the first four things that I told you, but all of them together just make the room look a lot more welcoming and nicer. Now, a underrated thing is just keeping your room nice and neat. If you do that, it will speak volumes in terms of how nice it is to live in your dorm. So I'm kind of done with everything that I need to say. I'm just going to finish off with like a typical day in my life, which will probably be its own YouTube video later this year. But for now, I'll just walk through a typical day in my life, specifically how I spend it in my dorm. So in the morning, after I wake up, I usually spend my time in the dorm just doing my morning routine. In the middle of the day, I come back, especially if I have some space between classes, to just unwind a little bit and refocus my mind, kind of recollect myself, and finish off my school day after that. Then most of the evening I spent out, getting lunch, getting dinner, hanging out with friends. But at night, I come back here with a few hours to spare before bed just to watch some TV, relax. And that stuff is like my reward of the day. It is really nice to just come back to this room, away from all the noise, and just know that I have a comfy place to relax. Alright, so that's pretty much it for this video. I hope I gave you guys ample information to answer the question about what it's like to live in a college dorm. If not, I hope I at least helped you out in some sort or fashion. And if I didn't even do that, then I'm sorry. Now, if you're gonna go to college soon, or you're going to live in a college dorm soon, I hope you all have a great start to your dorm life. With that being said, I hope you all enjoy the video, and I'll see you all in the next one.